I've been talking about the global birth rate decline for a while. I talk globally because I want women to see that it's not just here. And we're declining in many countries for many of the same reasons. A lot of times the variety might be just a little bit different, but where women do not feel protected, where women's rights are being squashed, the birth rate is declining. And that happens to be in many places because we live in a patriarchal world where women are oppressed, where girls are oppressed, and where our safety is compromised. Now, I have several reasons why I believe that the birth rate will continue to decline, and I think that it is going to drop to hell in the United States. The manosphere teachings is getting to boys younger and younger. We can see it, we can hear the discourse. Teachers have reported hearing boys as young as like 10 talk about the same things that the manosphere is talking about. It's seeping into the boy's psyche. And it's seeping into the boy's psyche at the same time that girls are becoming more focused on school. And you can see that. You can see that because women are out enrolling men going into college, and the birth rate for teens and up to 24-year-olds is already dropping. You can look that up on the CDC. It is dropping in the United States. Now, the age of first time marriage is around 30 for both men and women. You can look this up as well. And what does that mean? That means that naturally women will be having less children because we're getting started later. We're focusing on our careers. We understand that we have to have an income. Many of us were raised with women who told us to focus on school, to focus on getting our, stuff in a line, to be independent. We were told this. The rising cost of childcare and the scarcity. There are many childcare deserts, and a lot of the times these parents are paying as much as a mortgage for childcare. Is unsustainable. So that is going to cause other women to pull back, and that's going to cause some women who would have had more children to simply have less children because it's too much money. Now, we see the political discourse running teachers out of school. Who's going to educate your kids? Who's educating them if we are running the teachers out? We are running many of the female focused professions out. Nurses, teachers, things that are unpaid labor. We have always devalued women, but it's more so in these positions that will actually harm children. You have less and less teachers, that is going to impact the people who need to have children or want to have children, because why are you going to bring children into the world and you know that there's no teachers around? The Republicans' assault on reproductive rights. These anti-choice people are running doctors out of states. They are having the labor and delivery departments close in some states. The nurses are leaving some states. So it's going to harm mothers or potential future mothers because of the assault on reproductive rights. Women are also clamping down on their wombs. They are saying so. And I've already done a video. Some women are even saying that they are going child free, and they're going child free to the point where they only want to date men that have had a vasectomy. So it's really happening. Hopefully we could see something like South Korea's 4B here in the United States until such time that women and mothers in particular are actually valued. The cost of living is too high. It's unsustainable. Moms do have to work, but we live in a climate where you can't act like you're a mother at work. But then if you are a mother, you have to be able to leave. You have to go to school to pick up your children. Women are the default parent, but there's no concessions for when mothers have to actually parent. Employers are pushing for a return to office. Now, if women and mothers were able to juggle parenthood and making money while working at home, and it definitely freed up that time through traffic. You're able to keep an eye on your kids, especially if the school system is in flux. But with this push to return to office is going to harm moms. Now, number 10, the social media discourse is highlighting what women are going through when we are partnered up with somebody that might not be that suitable. And we are showing red flags. What are these red flags early and often? And when we see these red flags early and often, we are encouraging women to run. King Baby, as talked about by Mel Hamlet. Homosexuals, many of us talk about these people. The tolerable level of unhappiness. We are saying no more to that. We're not going to be living for being unhappy for the rest of our lives. You're seeing an uptick on gray divorce. That's women over the age of 50 getting divorced. And we're seeing social media discourse around the married single mom or the mom who is married, but she's essentially doing everything on her own. And the child-free movement, they are loud. Those women are loud with their life. They are showing that there is more to being a woman than the value that is placed on her womb. And I love that for the child-free movement. I love that for the child-free women. Something else that was submitted was the fact that safety is a concern for children. The fact that there are so many mass pew-pews at school. The fact that you have to wear, a bulletproof backpack as a child. We are living in a time where violence is just part of the discourse, where there's more mass pew-pew than there have been days this year. That is where we are. Why would you want to bring your children into that? This middle comment is spot on. Women have been unvalued, undervalued, underpaid for the longest time. Our unpaid labor makes the world go, and we have got to pull it back. We've got to pull it back because we're not shown any consideration. We're not given the support that we need. And so when we pull it back, then they'll start to take notice, and I believe that they are taking notice. And this very last one at the bottom, the realization that women don't need marriage or kids to live a full and meaningful life. We were sold a fairy tale that did not serve our purposes. But it wasn't just that we were sold a fairy tale. We were legislated into having to conform to this fairy tale. The fact that people's retirement was tied to if you were married, the fact that they were giving benefits to people that were married, there were certain things that were done that made sure that men had access to women, like keeping us out of the workforce, keeping us restricted on our education. And at times, we were not even our own person. Like we were owned by our fathers or our husbands. Now, we are not owned by anyone except ourselves. And I want to keep that in the forefront of our minds. We're no longer having to do this to have a rich and fulfilling life. And I believe for all of these reasons and more that were submitted, that the birth rate will continue to plummet. It will continue to plummet. And because of that, the dudes will continue to fail and flail. And why? Because women are not attaching themselves to them. And so the men are going to have to learn how to adult on their own without a second mom, because the mom to wife the mom to wife pipeline is also, we're clamping down on that too. It's drying up too because of many of the same reasons. Y'all go ahead, join this conversation. Tell me what you think, what you are seeing. Like, comment, share.